Thank you for joining us. This is Missing on NewsNation. I'm Marni Hughes. Each week, we cover a missing person case from across the country, no matter their race, religion, background, or circumstances, because every missing person matters to their family, to their friends, and to us. And we think you can help us. Social media plays a very big role in each case that we cover. By watching and sharing these stories, there is hope for finding answers. I have a few updates on several cases that we have been following. One is Marine Corporal Charles Alex Benfield. Thankfully, he has been found safely. He was reported missing 2 weeks ago after he didn't report back to Camp Pendleton in California. The RAD movement, this is a nonprofit group, says Corporal Benfield is receiving the help he needs now. The search continues for 15-year-old Sebastian Rogers. The teen vanished without a trace from his home in Hendersonville, Tennessee, the night or morning of February 25th, sparking an Amber Alert. A private investigator, Sebastian's biological father, brought on to look into the case, says there has been a lot of turmoil surrounding Sebastian's disappearance, including a phone call and a referral made to the Tennessee Department of Children's Services. At the time he vanished, Sebastian was living with his mom and his stepdad.
If he overheard a conversation between Chris and Katie where Chris is saying he can't deal with it anymore, he's out, whatever, that right. Could have been motivation for Sebastian to just leave.
Sebastian's mom, Katie Proudfoot, says she believes someone may have her son. The Sheriff's Department in Sumner County, Tennessee, says there's no evidence of foul play, but they are not ruling anything out, adding that the family has been cooperative. Authorities have received more than 300 tips, but still there's been no sign of Sebastian. His grandmother says that he loves to talk about plants, he loves animals, and going fishing. Sebastian is on the autism spectrum. His shoes were left at the front door of his home, and his phone was still in the kitchen. Anyone with information into Sebastian's disappearance should contact the Sumner County Sheriff's Office and Emergency Communications Center at 615-451-3838 or the Tennessee Department of Investigation at 1-800-TBI-FIND. We have more than 36,000 views and counting on our YouTube channel in the last week in the search for Britney Te. She reportedly left the home she was sharing with her boyfriend at the time in January of 2023. He told police he thought Britney was going to her mom's house. Britney was living in Brookfield, Massachusetts at the time. The family says the boyfriend has cooperated and police have not said he is a person of interest in the case. Still, they tell us it's not like Britney to take off. She is a beloved daughter, sister, and friend, and those close to her called her the fun aunt who loved playing with her niece and nephew.
She's the one that's getting down on the ground on her hands and knees and, just being fun.
If you have information that can help bring Britney home, there is an anonymous tip line, 508-453-7589. Now to this week's missing case, and we have exclusive new details in the search for Creg Lyles. He is a choir director from Michigan, very active in his church, and he's now been missing for more than 3 years. Police naming his boyfriend a person of interest in the case, and we have learned police gave that boyfriend, Michael Butler Jr., a polygraph test that he failed. In just minutes, I'm going to be speaking with two members of Creg's large and very supportive extended family. They are fighting and praying not just for justice, but also for answers.
Son, these stitches don't hurt. He said, well, Daddy, you ain't never had stitches.
For the Lyle family and friends, the kitchen table is a safe place to reminisce about Creg.
And if you've ever seen Creg perform that, that's showtime at the Apollo.
An IT specialist as his day job, faith, always Creg Lyle's true passion, whether as the choir director at his church in Pontiac, Michigan, or stepping into the spotlight on center stage.
He'll call me Dad, and I miss that sound.
Greg and Mary Lyle can't quite believe time is now passing with no news of their son.
Someone reached out to my oldest son, and that's how we know Creg hadn't been on social media, because he was a social media butterfly.
The Lyles sent Creg's college friend over to the Waterford apartment the 33-year-old shared with his boyfriend, finding signs of a struggle. Police quickly called.
We get to the apartment. Creg is not there, but Creg's live-in boyfriend, Mike Butler, is there.
Waterford Police Lieutenant Chet Bartle,
His Facebook account goes cold on January 20th, 2021.
picked up the case the next morning.
He was startled. He was startled. It was very clear that he was surprised by us being there. We were trying to ask him questions about their relationship.
Bartle determined damage to the apartment came during an argument at least a month before Creg's disappearance. But Creg's truck becoming a key piece of evidence as Butler was driving around the streets of Pontiac for days after his boyfriend was last seen.
Cell phones, watches, car computers, satellite stuff, all kinds of stuff, video surveillance, unfortunately specific to the car. The data that is contained within the car itself only goes back to about 2 or 3 days before we met with Mike.
When he brought Mike around, it all changed.
Creg's cousins explain the nearly supernatural bond of their loving group of relatives. From good-natured teasing
You think he'll visit?
to a party for everyone on every occasion.
The nucleus, he was like the center of it all. He started the cousins' days and the cousins' parties.
And the cousin group chat.
The cousin group chat.
And while all supported Creg's coming out, it was tricky, as something seemed off about Butler, the very first boyfriend their cousin brought home.
He just kind of sat off in the corner, and the look on his face was kind of like of disgust. Like, how is it that he can have all of this and I don't?
It was in her house, and it was just something about him that I didn't care for.
Call it father's intuition, as the family would only learn after Creg disappeared that Butler was recently paroled from prison after serving a portion of a 22-year sentence.
Creg hid from me because he didn't want me to know that he was gay. I take responsibility for that growing up, but I told him, and I feel responsible because when I told him to be himself, he went to be himself, and then he went missing. That hurts me. I go to bed with it every night, and I wake up with it every morning.
The family says it was earlier this year that detectives told them Creg would never be found.
I would never have that closure to put my son to rest properly like he's supposed to.
As Creg would, the family turns to faith.
Father, that you not only love them, but you love Creg.
While police vow this case is not over.
Should this man feel comfortable at this point?
Oh, absolutely not. Absolutely not. Somebody out there knows. He's told somebody, he's left a crumb somewhere, and at some point, we'll get the answers that we need.
I don't care if anybody go to prison. I just want to know where my kid is so I can, and his mom, put him to rest.
And often it is the not knowing that is so hard for families and friends. Detectives believe that Michael Butler is living somewhere in Texas. We were unable to find him as well. After the disappearance, police did arrest him on probation violation charges. That's when they did that polygraph test, but they tell us there was not enough evidence in the case for charges. They need the public's help. Joining me now is Brianca Cantrell, Creg's cousin, and Chantel Britt, Creg's aunt. Ladies, thank you for being with us. I know how difficult this is, but also how important it is for Creg and for the entire family. I'd like to start with you, Chantel. Creg's faith was central to his life. Tell me about the role that it played and also how it's helping you all get through this.
He, like everybody say, he wouldn't hurt a fly. You know, he was just a social person. He kept the group chats. He was so supportive. Anything I have, I live in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. So anything I had, anniversary parties, birthday parties, he was right there. You know, it just hurt to have him just taken away like that. And ain't nobody saying nothing. And people just walking around like it's okay. Like there's not going to be nothing done. Like he just forgotten about. He know what a hurt that this put on our family. We have never dealt with a tragedy like this. So it's knowing him. I mean, he was a peaceful person. He did not deserve this.
Nobody deserves this.
Nobody deserves this. No, yeah, you're right. Nobody in the world, but he just was God's. He was just strictly that's all he talked about. And he was just a spiritual person, and he just was a happy person. And like, he always loved to get the family together. He always loved to get the family together, whether it was here or there, or he was just that type of person. So to have him just missing for 3.5 years, and it's no words can say. And I know it's a lot of families that's dealing with the same thing, and I put my heart out to them, but this hurts. It hurts.
Yeah, it's heartbreaking, and I know it's hard for each of you to talk about, and it's that unknown, right? The what happened and where is he and what to do gets worse over time. I know. Brianka, the relationship with the boyfriend, as people watch this story and hear about your cousin's case, what was their relationship? Tell me about what was going on in the weeks and months before he vanished.
I'm not really too sure about exactly what was going on. I do know that there was a change in Creg's spirit, aura. He wasn't quite the same. His light wasn't shining so bright as it usually does. He hung around my household a little more. Like, he was very family oriented, always wanted to have parties, always wanting to be around family with Mike, if it makes sense. But particular up to his disappearance, it was more so less of Mike at family events and outings, just little parties or get-togethers we would invite Creg to, or he would even throw. Like, I would ask him, like, hey, is Mike coming? Do you plan on, cooking or whatever? And he'll get like fidgety. No, Mike's probably not coming, or Mike just would not show up at all. Or the occasion, like in October prior to my birthday party, where it was a little clip of the event, Creg just was not himself. We were dancing and partying, as you can see in the video, and he was just sitting there, staring across the room. And of course, across the room was Mike. Just quiet, spirits just low, just not the Creg that we're used to, but you could kind of see him fighting for it. I really can't speak too much on exactly what was going on, but I know that it wasn't right. Something was off. Things weren't the same.
Had he shared anything with anybody, whoever he was closest to? I mean, you guys describe him as the glue. I mean, he was such a gift, right? Bringing everybody together. Had he been open about any concerns he had about his relationship or just in his life in general, that he was struggling in any way?
Well, every time I talked to him, he didn't come off it. The last time I saw Creg was Thanksgiving of 2020. Maybe 2 months before he came missing. So even with the last time that I saw him, he was apparently happy, maybe not quite himself, kind of stand backish. But, I didn't have any indications that he was going through anything. Now that he's missing, I hear that he wasn't happy or he had problems going on with Michael Butler Jr. You know, we didn't hear this till after he came missing. He did not let the family know. Like my brother Greg said, he didn't tell, you know, of course he didn't tell the family because he didn't want my family, you know, to react. So maybe that's why he kept it quiet on the things he was going through. But, you know, other people that he associated with every day was saying that they did see a change in him. And again, he was very happy, always outgoing. So
he was living with the boyfriend. Do you guys have any information as to what was left behind? I mean, in a lot of cases, we look for cell phones, wallet, credit cards, the most important things that most of us don't leave behind. What was left behind in his apartment? Any clues there as police investigated?
From my understanding, just he had I know he had a lot of clothes, and they were saying that all his clothes was gone. Like it was made to seem like he vanished away, like he just took his clothes out. So that he didn't have many clothes left. From where I saw, maybe a computer or something like that. I really don't know what was all left. I know that he had a few items that my brother and my sister-in-law had to go get out the apartment, but specifics, I don't know.
Right. Brianka, what about his car? Police said that they saw Butler driving around Creg's truck at some point. Anything more you can share on that?
No, I don't have too much information on Michael driving his car around. I just know kind of what the public knows, that he had his car for a couple of days. Pulling up on people, just living life like it's normal, but obviously not normal because everyone knows that Michael doesn't go anywhere without Creg. Creg doesn't go anywhere without Michael, especially not in his vehicle. Creg doesn't leave his vehicle, his phone, his glasses, things like that alone. At all.
Chantel, what has it been like for the family now 3 years to not have Creg around? What has the impact been?
It's been a hard impact. I mean, again, the anxiety, just thinking about it. I hear my sister-in-law and my brother called me in the middle of the night screaming, "Where's my child?" He just, I mean, it's just a big impact. It's a big impact on the family. It has put a hurt. I mean, everybody has been involved. And I mean, we tried in the beginning, you know, everybody was up fuel, and we still are. And my brother, Creg Lyles, said, let the law handle it. Let the law handle it. And that's what we did. We was bagging up. Because when you just take a loved one like that, how do you just sit back and you suspect truly who it is? How do you just sit back and just let it go like that? That's a very hard pill to swallow. My brother was like, back off, let the law do it. So, and just seeing or hearing that he walking the streets and, oh, we saw him there and then we saw him, and it's like nothing is being done. I don't know, I'm on the outside looking in, but he's been gone 3.5 years, and it just seemed like, you know, we're not getting anywhere with it. I don't know what we have to do more. I have reached out to so many people, like the LGBTQ community. I have been doing everything possible to get resources to find my nephew. It's been 3.5 years, and it's a big impact. Yes, it is. It's a very big impact. I was there when that baby was born. I have so many. I used to get them off to kindergarten. When I come up there to stay with my brother and my sister-in-law, he was like a child to me. I have watched him grow over the years. So it has been a big impact on the family. We have all been trying to put our heads together, did searches to find my nephew. It's been 3.5 years, and it's a big impact. Yes, it is. It's a very big impact. I was there when that baby was born. I have so many. I used to get them off to kindergarten. When I come up there to stay with my brother and my sister-in-law, he was like a child to me. I have watched him grow over the years. So it has been a big impact on the family. We have all been trying to put our heads together, did searches, everything. Like, how do you just take a loved one and think we're just going to sit back? I know it's been 3.5 years, but we have not been giving up, or we've been praying and everything to at least have, like my sister-in-law say, at least have some closure. At least have some closure.
It leaves a hole in your heart. You know, you're just not you're not complete. Brianka, he's your cousin, and I hear about the cousin days and the cousin group chats and all of that. How are you doing with him missing?
Struggling. I miss him so much. I just feel like you don't know how much you actually miss, love, and need a person until they're not that phone call or that drive away. It's been very disturbing. I barely get any rest just thinking about it. Think about all the things that I noticed after the fact. Family members are not the same anymore. Our family is broken. That's the best word I can use. Our family is broken. Like you said before, he is the glue to our family. Clearly still is the glue to our family because we have events and things for him. We celebrate his birthday every year. We try to have tacos and tequila in memories of him because that was his favorite thing to do. Get the family together, everybody. I mean, from the babies on up to our older family members. He always had a set time for the older family members before the younger ones come together and kind of enjoy ourselves. We have a moment with our older aunties and uncles just so that everybody enjoys this special day that he planned for all of us. It's hard on us all, from the kids, his nieces and nephews, to his cousins, mom, dad, aunties. It's just hard. We're used to hearing him call us every day. We're used to seeing a text message pop up. Good morning, family. God bless. Enjoy your days today. Are we linking up this weekend? What we doing for the holiday? He was that person. Like, you didn't have to worry about the family being together because he was going to make sure we got there. He was going to make sure everybody had a ride. Everybody's favorite foods were there, what people don't like. Drinks, just time being spent, making sure that everybody is comfortable. That was his biggest thing, making sure everyone is comfortable within the event, within his home, our next person's home, cousin's home, whatever. He made sure everyone was good. There was no person that he left behind. There was no person that he didn't make sure was good.
Yeah, well,
like I said, it's anything.
It sounds like he had an incredibly big heart. I mean, big heart, and made room for everybody and everything and put others before himself. Ladies, I have a couple of questions. Lots of folks interested in Creg's case and want to help. One question I have is from Sean in Texas, asking anything distinguishing, like a tattoo that would distinguish Creg apart from anyone else. Chantel, what are some things that people should be looking for?
I can't remember. I don't think he ever got a tattoo. Other than he wear glasses. I know he needs his glasses.
Always wore his glasses?
He always wears glasses. So, yes. So he will never leave. I have never seen him without his glasses. So, no distinguished marks on his body. I can't remember seeing anything on his body that would stand out.
Okay. I have another question from Autumn. This is in West Virginia, and Autumn wants to know, why has no one been able to locate the boyfriend? Seems to be the missing piece of the puzzle. As I mentioned, we did try to reach out. Do you guys want to share anything more about initial contact in Creg's disappearance and any information about the missing boyfriend and that polygraph test?
No, nothing. That's the big question, because we just haven't heard anything. And I'm not saying that they're not working on it, but we haven't heard anything. That's a good question. Why haven't we heard something by now? 3.5 years.
Well, police.
And from what I hear,
yeah, go ahead.
that he's still walking around Pontiac. I heard he was in Texas. Yeah, that's a big question. Where is he? Because he's still walking around. He's still walking around, and like I said, that's a very disrespectful thing to have somebody just walking around freely and knowing they the last person that saw my nephew.
Yeah, and whether he had something to do with it or not, he's bound to know something. We have reached out as well. We have not been able to get in touch, and police say at some point there will be a breadcrumb left behind that leads to the answers I know you also desperately want. Brianka and Chantel, thank you. I pray that Creg comes home to you soon and that you all have some answers and some closure. Thank you for sharing him with us. Thank you so much.
No problem. Thank you.
And if you have any information that can help in the search for Creg Lyles, the Waterford Police Department has set up a tip line. You can call 248-674-COPS or Crime Stoppers at 1-800-SPEAK UP. I want to give you a preview now of the case that we are working on for next week. Julie Vestigald is 47 years old. She left her apartment in California in January. She hasn't been seen or heard from since. Julie is an avid aviation enthusiast. She traveled the country visiting air shows.
It reminds me that every day, if she could get into an airplane, she was happy. And if she could clean an airplane, she was happy.
Julie left behind her phone and her license. She had an appointment at the DMV that day, but she missed it. Although she had been known to take off from time to time by herself, every indication was that she was planning on coming back home, and she always let those close to her know that she would be away. Make sure you tune in next week to learn more about Julie's disappearance and the tragic event in her life that coincides with the time she disappeared. And if there is a missing person case you think we should be looking into, send it to us at newsnationnow.com/missing. You can also send us tips through our NewsNation app, and make sure to check out our podcast each week. Many of the cases we cover come from you. I'm Marni Hughes in Chicago. This is Missing on NewsNation. As always, thank you for watching. I'll see you next week.